Greetings, mortals. I am Natus, the ruler of the underworld. And today we'll be reacting to the newest chapter of My Academia, chapter 390, titled Shoto Todoroki Rising. Which means he's gonna die this chapter. It's Rising. You know what happened with Bakugo when he had that Rising chapter? He got impaled and fucking killed, and well, not killed. He got impaled and almost put in a death state. Although I think he still rose, or the find out he still did rose later and was able to blast things and then just kind of swap away. But anime power up making no sense, ruining tension, all that shit is besides the point. Actually, I think in this arc, the second one here, I think Bug Rising Part 2 was actually also him being killed. Well, let's see if Shoto's gonna pull a bear off, although I doubt it. But yeah, anyways, let's get into this chapter already. So we start this chapter off with either a close up, more of a focus on Ida's legs as we see his engines. I want to say they're busted, but it looks more like they're starting to melt from the heat and the boost they're using to expand from this. As then we get a shot of Ida as he says, "This is as far as I can take you," meaning I have no reason to be that's directly involved with your family drama as this, because let's be honest, it's so because weird if I was there amongst your family as you're having that heart to heart moment. As there we have Todoroki acknowledging that's the main reason why they're being separate now. As Shoto says, "Thank you, Ida." As then we have, I think, for Shoto using Flash Fire Fist Phosphor. Is really saying deliver him, which is true, but still kind of funny to think about it. As they have Shoto using ability, as there's like a big boom. As we have some of the computer workers amongst the police station be like, I can't believe it! They broke the sound barrier! Their speed's on par with a jet fighter! He's constantly. Okay, oh, that's focused on something else. I think that's the same as here. He's constantly generating ice to minimize their drag while heating the air in front of them to reduce friction. Basically, the scientific reason why they're able to break the sound barrier. Although I'm pretty sure we did already do a feat with Izuku and Shiraki that broke the sound barrier, but I might be mistaken. I mean, that's kind of difficult to keep track when I have to break some of these stuff unless it's specifically stated, because just saying, some levels of speed do feel like the human must be breaking some kind of sound barriers to be able to commit them. It's kind of like the Superman thing it's kind of like the Superman Flash thing where, yes, Superman can follow Flash, but he doesn't have the speed for, so his speed is just general speed. So it's kind of fun thinking about that in a sense, but yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, I guess it's one of those things where, yes, this is like another trip. I feel like we've already done something similar to that. But anyways, then we have Tsukauchi being it's like, if we want any chance of to avert disaster at Ganga, we need engine and have cold, have hot. It's up to you two. I'm counting on you. As these kind of words there. As then we have to think to yourself, you've been a diligent teacher, All Might. As then we got back to them as we have Ida falling down as falling as he screams to Shoto, Todoroki-kun! Thanks to you, I finally became the person I wanted to be! But, the whole character development, the whole, staying parallels in the staying style kind of thing. The fact that, he's helping Shoto to get to the other decision, location so they can, settle down all that shit. As then we have Shoto also falling on the ground as he's like a bit rolling on the floor. As Ida Spell thinks of, therefore it's time for you to go and do the same. As then we have Amira's shoulders falling down, him standing up and charging there. Although funny enough, they still seem to be in a city, while that's in the forest, and I think it's even far some distance away. I guess even though Shoto doesn't have any kind of speed type of core, he still is extremely fast. So I guess maybe he's using that ice movement to move faster, since I do believe he has been using that to like slide. Anyways, they have Shoto like getting some last monologues like, "Dear mother, I'll try to keep this brief. I'm doing everything I can to reach my classmates' level, which includes having conversations with them every day. I guess this is like what one of the ladders that Shoto's been setting her. As we also see this flashback image of Ray showing them showing Fuyumi and Natsu the ladders that Shoto's been setting her, as well as like I'm not sure we saw this out of Shoto riding, but it's just yeah, that's what he was doing. As then we get like a flashback with a bunch of a bunch of scenes in the manga. As then we have just saying sometimes our conversations lead to arguments, but sometimes arguments help us understand each other's feelings. Oh my god, that's basically that friendship kind of talk. Which is basically that, character thing where they have, stuff like Black Bulls and Fairy Tail, while they are mostly just arguing and screaming and whatnot. That's like, those are supposed to be like cool character moments because, oh, that's how close they are. Like, they can share each other, but they just, at the end, they gotta fight with each other. Which is great, although I don't think we've gotten that many arguments from Class 1A, which is why also we probably don't have direct things. Although maybe that's supposed to be more of an idea with Boggle. I mean, I feel like only Boggle would really start an argument over stuff like with people. Giving a capsule would probably react to make a more of a scene, probably wouldn't have the same type of reactions as Boggle would. So maybe that's supposed to be a thing here. I don't know, I kind of feel like there should have been like an extra, at least that one, moment in the manga where a bunch of them were actually arguing, actually going on each other's nerves and all that stuff, but they don't, so yeah. To be fair, they're supposed to be more to be fair, Class 1A is one of the more, level-headed, more normal of the protagonist groups, like compared to the Fairy Tail or Black Balls or the Straw Hats, where it feels like half the characters lunatics in some form of way, with only a few exceptions, even those with a brain that's still insane. But yeah, anyways, then we have Shoto running at full speed, or I would just say he's more using his fire to fly. Not sure why he's doing the running kind of motion. Maybe he's like using this to like get himself even more trajectory or something. But guys, Shoto is there running, well, flying there is so again. Sometimes my fans get angry and they cry, not just for themselves but for the sake of others. I really don't know which conversation this is referring to. I'm probably forgetting. I mean, even though manga Shonen Jump's stories are gonna be a lot shorter now than they were when One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach were at their prime. I don't. It's still a bit odd. So again, I can't remember exactly which scenes they're referring to. Anyways, then we get to the Rocky family staring as Shoto's emerges. We see Ray looking at there. We see Fuyumi, Natsu, Enji, Dabi, and they're all looking like they got burned to to their skins off. Like that's how everyone looks like. I doubt it's gonna be that deep because you remember, like I'm pretty sure Dobby has burned his insides 8 times in the span of this final arc already. So it's probably not that deep, but still, it's gonna find seeing how gruesome and detailed their burns are. But then you have to realize it's probably gonna be not that big because again, it's been like how long have Dobby been burning his insides for this point? And then we get to some of the conclusion thoughts for Shoto's monologue that we've had this chapter. He thinks, I want to be like that too. It's difficult, but I will do my best. As there she a shot of Shoto in the air, leading towards in the Enji and Tora. As then we have this shot of Shoto screaming at me, how he's going to full space. Or maybe he just exhausted from using so much heat. And further stuff, as I guess this is supposed to be connecting to Dobby's thoughts in the last chapter, as short effects of lose all meaning. If my origin's Dobby origin was as simple as this, if our confrontation happened sooner, then we see a child Todoroki going there. He's still like a bit burned damage, but you see child Todoroki there. The little scenes are supposed to be very close by. Although again, it's kind of difficult to get these scenes hurting as much as they would do in anime because anime can do it almost stylistically, where he's just shove of Shoto screaming and going full speed. There's shot of him doing that same thing as a child with the current stuff happening. But anyways, you have Shoto saying, "I still have so many things I gotta get out, things I want to say. Then we see a close up of a mouth. I think that's supposed to be Shoto, but I kind of want to say want to say it's Dobby actually. But I think it's supposed to be Shoto. There's like this ball coming out of a mouth. But anyways, there see Shoto using an ability that I don't know if you've seen on here, but guys, it's called the Great Glacial Air Gear. I'm not sure if Air Gear has some kind of significance behind mythology or something like that, but I wouldn't be surprised it does. And then you see like this, and this attack is like a giant ball of snow, of ice, of cold, of a combination of the two, as it engulfs like the entire forest. Like I want to say it's 4 feet bigger or 5 feet or 5 times the trees that we are seeing as a size comparison. I mean, I not the most impressive things. Like again, like I would say, put buildings on a more impressive scale. But yeah, I'm guessing this is supposed to be a really big thing. I mean, especially since the way how we get this like another panel, which I feel like is more showing the size as we have. Oh, these next panels where they feel there's more of a size comparison. Like we see these helicopters in the air just avoiding this glaciator as we see the cameraman filming. There we see some people in the shelters react to it and not Don Kid and his shark, I think Shark Quirk friend. They will see some people evacuating from the city. This react to it as they would again more impressive shot in the first panel. As we see those kids from that kindergarten all smiling at their actions and that's the five weenies or Shoto. So again, not really the biggest fan effect that you include that, but whatever. Although it seems like there's some weird animation thing here because the female one has that like thing where her hair is moving similar to that other kid who was the been the dick of that arc. But it seems like she doesn't have like a forehead or her forehead or under her head is like a space or something. I don't know, it's just such a weird thing how it looks here. Like it really does feel like there's something missing. By the way, then we get a shot of the thing completely spinning as we get more of a perspective showing how big it was. Like this was like, honestly, I would say the first panel is what looks like was the same size that was the distance between the people evacuating and all that because that seems to be kind of perspective. Well, that's my opinion. That's the size, which gives it more impressive, which makes it more impressive in my opinion. But yeah. Anyways, they would get that the fog leaving and smoke going everywhere. As then we have Shoto saying, "Hoof, hoof, everyone's here. Hoof. I see, despite the circumstances, I think it's for the best. By itself, great Glacier Egire might not be enough to stop this." No, I feel like it did stop this because we see this panel of everyone as we see like Fuyumi, Natsu, and Rei. And weird love, I feel like Fuyumi is close with the ones that were the most destroyed of all this. I mean, it's not a big thing. Doesn't matter, but it's kind of funny because again, I feel like that's the most. As then we also see Dobby on the floor, and he really just looks like a fucking skeleton that's been frozen over. Like those movies where they go into Antarctica, they see like bodies that have been so frozen over, or frozen over they're just skeletons. That were like even frozen over skeletons are frozen over people are always just skeletons, or just generally showing how someone died by something. Yeah, we get this kind of shot as we see we should have never laying out to it. That's how Dobby looks like. As there we have Shoto saying as he's also burnt and damaged and all that. I guess he's just was going through all that processing from momentum. He had to stop the friction all that. As then we have Shoto saying, "Compared to the first time we fought, Dorani's flames are much harder. I don't think I can match his firepower, but I'm not a masterpiece after all." As then we have Fuyumi looking at saying, "Shoto," as Indaba on the floor, all burned up as well. I guess it's supposed to be proving like, yeah, I'm not a masterpiece neither. Like your fire was over too much for me. Like your fire versus what you doing now versus me, I would not have. Well, I feel like in terms of like being defeated and victor, I feel like Shoto would still have won over if he ran for the hills as fast as he could. But I get the idea. So yeah, that's what Shoto so he's saying to try to comfort the situation all, But then we have Dobby somehow having his insights and everything burned to ash, and ash being burned to ash, and now reduced to ice. Like, not enough frozen over at this point. Is still somehow being able to speak, even though again I am pretty sure he doesn't even have anything that would allow him to speak. As he says, everyone, perish. We should all, worthless old man, die, perish. I think at this point he's just saying the same thing as Spinner has been saying, where he's so reduced to mentality that he just cannot find him say anything more. As again, like this is a fucking corpse. Like, how is a fucking corpse? This is. Are we certain that these characters are not just having some kind of hallucination by heat at this point? Just saying, I feel like that's more believable that these characters are having hallucinations than Dobby at this point talking. As then we have Natsu face of, he's freezing from the inside out. Toyani. As he then Natsu says, so what comes next? Well, next you bury him because he's a fucking corpse. As there we have Endeavor standing up, starting to stand up as he's kind of moving closer to Dobby. As Angie says, from here on out, things will be hell. Actually, I think that's just starts saying, from here on out, things will be hellish. As they have Endeavor just thinking, Toya, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't go to Sekota Peak. You know what caused Dobby? As then we see Toya and going as he touches Dobby's chest, as it seems like his legs are actually just fake, which looks like Dobby's legs at this point, just frozen legs. And we also see his arms, which again, I feel like there's far too much flesh on Dobby for what should have really been at this point. And then we get hallucinations, let's be honest. So striking again, as Dobby says in these hallucinations, I hate you, Dad, and our family too. And then Andrew says, yes, tell it to me. Tell me everything you want to say. Is there we get like I'm guessing like kind of the main event, the final end of the Todoroki kind of story. I mean, there was gonna be definitely an epilogue to the whole Shoto Todoroki storyline, but this guy I feel like was the idea supposed to be the ending. As they have in Ever saying, I pushed you past your limit. I'm sorry. Free me. I put everything on your shoulders. I'm sorry. I neglected you. I'm sorry. Shoto. As in, I'm not sure if Inji even says anything. I think he just says, I'm sorry. I mean, there's some leaks that said that he was going to murder something, but I feel like he just says, I'm sorry, because that's all he can do, because, like, I feel, again, it was said multiple times before, Shoto is, like, the worst of all of them. Like, the other ones at least had some kind of things with their own family. When Shoto appeared, it was already too far gone, too over, like, it was just hell for him. As then we have what I'm supposed to be. As there we go, I guess like shot with it. We are going up and up and up from them. As we just have like this to be the ending. I mean, I'm honestly convinced. Like, there's no way you can tell me that Dobby's gonna live after this. Like, he's literally a burnt corpse from inside to outside. Now also freezing from inside to outside. And yeah, at this point he's just dead. Again, still convinced these are hallucinations, if anything else. As for Daver, I feel like this is the time where he should die. This is just that moment. I don't really see why Endeavor had to live. I mean, granted, maybe he's gonna be sent to prison away for his actions taking responsibility type of thing. But again, I don't feel like that Endeavor should survive this. This is one of those deaths that I do feel like should happen, but I don't think he is going to die. Anyways, while this isn't the end of chapter, this is like one of those things when we maybe this might be just misplacements. It is just like one of those end of this chapter because it's the end of this storyline, but there's still a chapter we have for the next before this. But anyways, chapter this although this again might be actually I don't know. I'm not sure this is supposed to be. Yeah, I think this is just supposed to be the like. It's weird. I'm kind of debating if this is maybe because it's unofficial translation. It's maybe just misplaced, but I kind of feel like this is just the chapter ends here as terms of this story, but there's still one page to kind of like showing what's gonna be focused on later. But yeah, let's just go into it. I'm not certain this is supposed to be again, like I said, this is a chapter ends because the story ends, but there's still one more page, but that's just not connect to anything. That's why it's kind of like over, or if there's not again not certain. But anyways, we cut to again that shot of the all that glaciers going away as we see that that Dobby's interaction with Toga before the whole second war started, as we have Toga thinks of, remembering Dobby saying, "Let's smile, Himiko Toga," as they have Toga without Twice's form staring in that direction, as we even see some tears coming from her eyes, probably most likely realizing what's happening, as she remembers the other thing that Dobby says, "But smiling is why we live our lives." As we have Toga saying, "Toya-kun, were you able to smile?" Nope. Like I don't even think it's one of those burn stuff to Ash. I think he just couldn't smile at all. I mean, maybe this is gonna be a scene, flashback where he is going to have real been smiling, but no, I doubt it. Like I don't see him Toga smiling Toga smiling. As he have Toga just staring that direction as there's twice clone there. That's most likely the case. The movements kind of match each other. As we see Ochako on the floor with a bunch of twice copies holding him down. As we have the foundation of the chat saying the battlefield changes as we see determined Ochako to go up against Toga. So yeah, now after we've dealt with Dobby, it's time to focus on Toga versus Ochako. Well, which we're gonna have to wait a week because it's a break next week. And yeah, I'm not really a big fan of this arc having as many breaks in between or random breaks in between. So it's kind of ruined the kind of like it's kind of an off thing because we have break next week, which is fine. But then we could also after the next week we could still in 14 days we could still then have the chapter that week chapter after that break week. But then we could still need to wait because health-wise, like honestly, I don't really know what the hell is what the hell is Shonen Jump doing, because it seems like with Black Clover and My Academia, especially for the last couple of I want to say months at this point, it really feels like there's some kind of big health problem going around with everyone, and it still doesn't feel fixed. Like, and it's crazy to me because someone like Ryo Mashima is able to still continue, and his chapter qualities haven't really gone down. Maybe he just has more people working with him, or maybe like he does some, or maybe like I don't really know. Like, what is up with these? Like, again, the ones that are non-stop breaks are fine. The issues are the ones that are completely unexplained and unexpected until, unless if you follow the Twitter or one of those social media hellish websites. But yeah, break next week. Hope Koshi relaxes so he'll be able to continue, and hope there's nothing serious. But again, what is up with all this? But yeah. Anyways, this chapter, it was a conclusion to the chapter, and unfortunately, because this chapter it's just kind of the end. I don't want to shit on it. Like this chapter's context, there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly serviceable. The issue is this chapter focuses on stuff that's just gonna be that works just way better in a kind of in a more moving pic media like anime or movies or stuff like that. That's the issue. This chapter feels like it's more like the final kind of thing. That kind of ending and that kind of flow doesn't really work the best and doesn't translate the best in manga format. Like, yeah, it's heartbreaking to see all this going on, but I really do not feel like this will not hit as hard until it's gonna be animated. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, as for Dobby's final moments, I think it makes sense. It's like supposed to be like one of those real consequences. Like, no, don't think it's gonna be like it's not. I feel this is the deal. It's supposed to be like, do not think it's gonna be fixed. Like that's the thing. Koshi is being really mature about this adaptation, about this storyline. So I don't think it's gonna be like a happy ending kind of thing. Like maybe there's gonna be a bit of like a slight nudge of a better future, but I think this is supposed to show. Yeah, the story is not going to end well for this. Which is sad because I feel like the legal villains are really getting the shortest end of the stick. Like the core members of all of them, because like the next time Compescus is gonna hear about Darby, it's, oh yeah, we confiscated his almost entirely burned and now entirely frozen corpse. Like it's not really, it's really hurtful, and I do wonder how the battle between Toga and Ochako is going to end. With, considering how Darby and Spinner had got their fates resolved. Like, I would honestly be concerned, Toga. Like, what does my bug this through? What kind of hellish way am I going to perish this arc? But yeah, as for Endeavor, I feel like he should die. Like, I don't see if I could see his wounds still be savable, but I do not see him. Like, it's kind of the point, because I thought that was like one of those guaranteed kills, and I do feel like he should have. And let's be honest with ourselves, once if Devin doesn't die, people are gonna be shitting on it, like, oh, no one died in My Academia, because deaths are gonna bring anything better. Again, I'm someone who doesn't find deaths to be necessary. It's just that I want to see character. Again, I'm not a biggest fan. I'm not someone who really cares about character dying, but I do feel like Dava should die. Although, to be fair, it's possible he was just gonna be arrested and they can imprison him for his abuse. I mean, after all, I don't think Dava would really have any issues with it. He probably would. Like, honestly, I feel like this is gonna be a moment where like someone's probably gonna try to make a big scene about it. Still denying all that, and Dava just, all right. So should I let the all right? Will these bodyguards guards arrest me, or well, these guards arrest me because I'm call the police? Like, I mean, I don't have no issue with it, but we'll have to see how that's gonna turn out with. But yeah, anyway, I hope you like this chapter reaction. I hope you leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos in the future. And with that said, I can't wait to see all of you motos next time. Goodbye.